Welcome to the show Gold Squadron Gays. It's the podcast where two Star Wars loving gays talk about and review their favorite Star Wars content while also being gay as hell. I'm your host, Bradley Brower.
I'm your other host, Charles Rogers, and no, I haven't watched Vision Season 3 yet.
I've only watched the first episode, so you're not, I don't think we're missing anything quite yet.
I've been told it's quite good. I've been told it is good, but it's one of the few Star Wars things that, like, I try to watch it for the first time with my partner.
Right.
So a lot of the times what'll happen is if our schedules just don't align or whatever, is I'll go ahead and watch the Star Wars because what I've discovered is that it will very quickly get spoiled for me.
Right.
If I don't consume it immediately. And this will be either as a result of somebody doesn't tag their fucking spoilers on social media, because some of you don't know how to shut up for 24 hours and not post your spoilers immediately to social media, or it's on me. I accidentally click something on a Discord server or something that was spoiled that I didn't mean to click, but I clicked it anyway. That's happened. Right. Or, and this is the worst one, something will happen and then people know that I'm the Star Wars guy, right?
I'll ask you a question.
So amongst my normal friends, like my not on the internet friends, I'm the Star Wars guy. So I will get a text message, hey, what was X, Y, and Z? And I will be like, I don't fucking know. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
And so point of the story is that generally I try to watch things immediately and then I'll go back and watch it with him. Visions is a special case where we're both equally interested in it. So I will try to wait and watch it with him. We still have to finish Rebuild the Galaxy, and we have to be caught up on Hazbin Hotel, and then we're going to marathon through Visions Season 3. So he and I will probably do it either next weekend or the weekend after, all in one sitting.
That seems fair. I will say I did watch the first episode and I enjoyed it. It was good. So if that's any indication of what the rest of the season's like, the dual sequel, yeah.
The dual again, the dual another one.
The duel, but another one. Yeah, exactly. And actually, I think I was reading, I don't know if it was on the Wikipedia or whatever it was, but it's just a continuation after the book. So it's just like bam, bam, bam. So you just keep going.
Yeah, I know they did like a comic as well from, it was like a one-shot comic from the original.
Yeah, it says it's the third installment in the story. So I'm like, okay, then we're really just going with the story.
Yeah, there was a comic and there's this and they're building out the duel into its own little mini multimedia franchise.
It felt like a movie. Okay. I will say that. It did kind of feel like I was watching a little mini movie. I was like, oh, this is like, we're getting somewhere.
I'll watch it in the dark on my really fucking nice TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it looks great because it's in black and white. So it's like...
everything looks better. I'm trying to get curtains for the TV room so that I can...
So you can actually see things on TV?
Less light. Well, during the fucking day, yeah. There's certain shows I can't watch.
There are certain shows you just can't watch.
During the day, Tales of the Underworld, Tales of the Empire.
Anyway, we've had our comments on that before.
Just saying. Certain shows I have to wait and watch at night because I can't see shit when I watch it. I did watch the subject of our episode today on my lunch break today, and I could, in fact, see everything that happened in it.
I agree. It looked very good on screen.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Star Wars Vision Season 2, In the Stars. Two sisters, the last of their kind, who live in hiding on their ravaged land, squabble about how to survive with the Empire encroaching. On a water run, the sisters must fight back when they are discovered.
It was good.
It was very good.
It was good. Do you have anything else you want to tell us about this short?
So the studio that produced this short is called Punk Robot Studios. It is a Chilean animation studio founded by our director and writer, Gabriel Osorio. I think Gabriel Osorio, I think is how you say it. And then some of the English voices for the cast are Valentina Mur as Cotin, which is the older sister. She's a Chilean actress. She's worked in cinema, television, theater. And then the younger sister is Julia Ovidio, and she's only known for this, as far as I could tell. She's just her first time voice acting. And then the officer, the Imperial officer, is played by Kate Dickey. who you
I
may know.
fucking know Kate Dickie.
You may know
I
her.
fucking know this actress.
She
She's
is,
really good.
yeah, she is really good. And I recognized the voice and I was like, that sounds familiar. And then I saw the name and I was like, that looks familiar. And then I looked at her IMDb and I was like, oh, she's in like a ton of stuff, but most people obviously would know her from as Lysa Arryn on Game of Thrones. And she was also briefly in Last Jedi as a First Order officer as well. So she's been on other stuff, Loki, Prometheus, other things, but the Game of Thrones is what you probably mostly know her from.
And
Yep.
she's in Prometheus. I'm just looking at
Yep.
her IMDb page now to see if there's anything I recognize.
Yep. And well, you know what? I think I'm going to throw in the director now because I feel like I do it at the end, but it's kind of silly to do it at the end if they keep founding these animation studios. I'm like, I should probably just
You
talk
might
about
as
them
well
up
talk
front.
about him
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So he's known for directing and animating and writing a short animated film called The Bear Story in 2015, which won an Oscar for Best Animated Short Film at the time. And it was also the first Chilean film to ever win that award. And so, yeah, he made the animation studio Punk Robot. So there you go.
There's a piece of trivia with relation to this on IMDb. Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
You know what? I'll let you for these episodes. I'll let you be the fact guy for
You let me be the
yeah,
fact guy
yeah. So
because
if you have a fact, throw it out there.
I looked at IMDb. Now I have not had the time recently to go through and look at the behind the scenes. All of these have accompanying behind the scenes short.
Yes, they do. I haven't watched
I
any
have not watched them
either.
just because I haven't had the time, but I need to go back and catch up and watch them. But I'm
Correct.
going to mash two facts here on IMDb together because I think they're relevant to discussion of these episodes. Quote, story is based on Selknam people from Patagonia, the south part of Chile and Argentina, devastated by colonialists who took their lands and used them as zoo animals until almost achieving their total extinction. To this day, they are fighting to be considered a living culture again. Before production began, the crew went on a field trip to Patagonia to research the landscapes. End quote.
Hmm.
So it's based on a specific people from a specific region who were almost wiped out by colonialism.
Right.
Hey, Bradley, colonialism is bad.
I wonder if that's like a reoccurring theme in Star
That's
Wars.
weird how all these short
Yeah.
from different countries
Right.
tend to generally be about how colonialism is bad.
That's
It's
crazy.
almost like that's been a recurrent problem.
Just never ending it. It seems like that's just like something that the world seems to deal with constantly.
I wish I had researched this and I didn't. I was trying to figure out who specifically colonized this area.
Oh, that's a good question. I guess I don't know that answer. I mean,
I
obviously some kind of European
also
country,
do
but
not know this answer. And I'm quickly, looks like it was explored by Spain. I think it might have been Spain.
okay. I mean,
There's a lot to the history of this area.
right.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable saying this one was mostly Spain based on what I've just randomly Googled and am checking on Wikipedia here.
Yeah.
But obviously that was entirely based on me quickly Googling this. I did not look to see if it was. So yeah, this happens a lot and this comes up a lot. And this will not be the last time this comes up
In one of
Vision.
these shorts.
In one of these
I'm
shorts, I
pretty sure
don't
this
think.
is just one of a few that also deal with similar themes.
Well, we
So
dealt with colonialism last week too.
yeah,
Last week we dealt with religious colonialism.
yes,
This week we're dealing with the more direct effects of a much more violent colonization
correct.
of an area than we necessarily saw in Screecher's Reach.
Right.
So we're seeing that the Empire has come in and they have violently taken over this land. They have killed everybody. They are taking their water in order to fuel resource extraction. That's the thing that fucking got me this second time around.
Uh-huh.
Is like they're not taking the water just to like for them to drink. They're taking the water so they can power, like cool their machines
It's a
so that they
cooling
can
thing, yeah.
harvest stuff.
Hmm.
out of the earth. Like they're not even using it for its intended purpose. They're using it to cause even more ecological devastation.
Well, that's just the Empire, right? They just
And
do it
then they're
just to
spitting
do
it
it.
out and polluting it. Bradley, I think the Empire might be supposed to be bad.
I think there's a reoccurring theme here that Empire equal bad.
The Empire is bad.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure anytime you have Imperials in any short of these, they're always bad no matter what we do. Um,
Yeah, other countries have pretty much gotten the message that the Empire is supposed to be the bad guys.
well, I mean, what's even funnier is that or maybe it's obviously purposeful, but like, our two main characters are Chilean actors, and then as far as I can tell, the younger one is also a Chilean actress. And then Katie Dickey is the officer, which is the villain of the thing. So a European woman who is the
Oh, and
voice.
she's hamming it up
Yes, it's
as this
great.
officer. She's like Domhnall Gleeson, the Irish Domhnall Gleeson
Mhm.
playing very English coded General Hux.
Oh,
Levels of
yeah.
I know what the assignment is and I'm gonna lean into it.
Well, she's still got that same that same haircut, like Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull, the Nazi haircut lady.
Yeah,
Like it's
the
the same
Soviet
Soviet,
lady, the
yes,
Kate
Soviet,
Blanchett
yes.
character from
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, the one that
Yep.
Arenda Price
Arenda Price,
is
yeah, yeah.
based off of in
Same look.
Rebels. Same fascist Bob.
Fascist Bob, I like that.
Same fascist
I kind of
Bob.
love it. Well, what's funny is on the picture, like of the poster when I first saw it, it looks like it's very like I thought it was a man at first, like on the like if you really squint your eyes and look at it, but because just the Imperials are also gray and like the same, I just didn't realize it until I watched the short. I was like, oh, that's her hair. I thought it was like a piece like coming down, cut like covering her
Yeah.
hair or something like that.
Well, they have the Imperial helmets that the ATST
Yeah,
drivers use, and then the officers will use. We see Tarkin wearing it at one point that'll wrap around.
right.
That it was okay. Yeah, I also had a similar thought. I was like, is that supposed to be like a little like
Yeah,
thing that's draping down? And no, that's supposed
no,
to be her hair.
just her bob, her Imperial bob.
That's just it's just her awful Imperial bob.
Her
Well,
standard issue Imperial Bob that all women are supposed to get when they enter into the Empire, I
yeah,
guess.
your options are fascist Bob
Yes.
or fascist bun. Like
There you
these are
go.
your only two options. I
Yes.
feel like every female Imperial officer that I see is either the fascist Bob or the fascist bun.
I like it.
Like, gone are the days of Issane Isard and her glorious, glorious like hair that was down to here, that was immaculately styled and had the multicolors. No, no. You know they're not employing like any good hairstylist or anything
No, I mean, because
at all.
we haven't seen because all the especially the First Order too. Like I feel like they all have hats on. We never see their hair by itself. Like I feel it's all like tight inside the hat. You never see anyone with long hair. So I imagine it's very similar thought process there. As far as I can remember, I don't think anybody has that look.
Well, all the gay people in the Empire are busy being moths. Like
True.
most of them are moths, actually. Regardless of gender, most of the gay people we see in the Empire, I think, are moths or
Okay.
moth level. Like there's
Yeah, you have to have
Tarkin,
someone.
arguably,
Yeah.
Moff Moors, Director Krennic, arguably, he's a director, so he's not a moth, but he's about on that same level.
Right.
The only one's really not is Singer Rathvelis, who is a stormtrooper torturer. Like he's an ISB torturer guy. And that one TIE pilot from Squadrons who has a husband who you only know about if you read a random codex entry somewhere. These are all the gay people in the Empire that I can think of. I mean, Palpatine himself, but
Sure.
like he's more gay in the vibes. He more has bitchy old queen energy. I don't know
Hmm.
what his deal is. Anyway, this short is really good, and I've sidetracked.
Yeah, I was like back to the short.
Back to the short that I'm
So
technically supposed to be talking about today.
I really like this one a lot. I like the stop motion kind of animation style of this one. The only thing I thought was weird though was I thought this was a different studio that was making this because it visually looks very similar to Coraline, very similar to Kubo and the Two Strings animation. That what is it? It's called Leica, I think is the name of the animation studio.
Studio Leica, yeah, I
Studio
think
Leica. Yeah,
is who makes those.
they looked, I mean, the animation looks really close to me at least.
It reminded me a lot of Aardman, which is funny because next week we're going to talk about Aardman.
Okay.
But I was like, I can see that there's also some inspiration being drawn from just like how the characters move, but also the designs for the characters
Yeah.
too. Goes back to like the exaggerated Wallace and Gromit kind of
Yeah.
style
Mm.
of doing it.
I guess, yeah, when you start doing stop motion, now you can start comparing, contrasting things because we're only talking about other stop motion things, but it gave that look. There were little like jerkier movements, that made it seem like obviously these are, physical things that are moving in the space, which is, I don't know, it made it look really cool and it grounded it, I guess, more because it was all supposed to be like about nature and, people's connections and, things like that. So I liked it a lot. I love the design of the aliens, this new species of alien that they've created for this, because I don't think it's based on anything. I think it's just its own brand new thing, which is really cool. So I kind of want to see these aliens show up in another thing somewhere else, you
No,
know?
you won't, because there's only two of them left.
Well,
And
in this reality, because Visions is supposed to be non-canon technically, right? So if we say that like,
technically,
so we can say that in another or in canon, if they want to bring them in canon, they could just have them in the background. Like they could exist. And also there could be other ones that just happen to get off the planet somehow. We don't know. Or maybe there's other sections of the planet where they live on. We don't know the
okay.
whole backstory.
Honestly, I was thinking about this as not to jump ahead to the would you like to see this continued in some form, but I do think one of the strengths of the Visions sort of storytelling is that it's morality tales and it's like explorations of the sci-fi conundrum of the day. All of that can be isolated.
Hmm.
And so it allows it to tell these really gut punchy stories and these really like dark but very hopeful and like triumphant stories because we're not trying to make we understand that this is part of a mythology, but we're not trying to make it a cohesive canonical mythology where everything makes sense. It has the vibe of like telling stories around the campfire or swapping stories with somebody in a restaurant or something like that in a way that I really love because it's kind of playing on the same things that the canonical Star Wars does, but it's allowed to take swings with it that Star Wars stories wouldn't be able to normally. Like the whole idea of having this entire group of people fucking wiped out and there's only these two kids left. That's dark as hell and I don't think you would be able to get away with that in a canonical Star Wars story. But isolated in the story that this wants to tell, which is this story about perseverance and this story about hope, that works really well for me in this short. And I think that's one of the strengths of Vision is that it can lean into that in the way that a lot of the Star Wars is trying to fit into a broader universe really can only scratch the surface.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it does work its own like thing, but so far, as far as I'm concerned, well, at least with this season so far, this one seems the most grounded in this could be a thing that has happened in our canonical Star Wars universe. Like I don't see this as there's nothing here that abnormal or weird that couldn't have happened. There probably has happened in our canonical universe where the Empire came into a planet, destroyed it for its resources, and the people happened to be the causality of that. Like they
Aldani,
got wiped out.
Aldani, Gorman,
There you go.
Jeddah, the Holy City, the last remnants of the Jedi,
Right. But I mean, I don't know if they've
all swept away. I forget the fucking
yeah.
quote.
But it's just this is obviously the most extreme version of that, and that we know for a fact. Well, we don't know for a fact, but we are presented with the fact that there's only two of these people left to our knowledge. So as far as we're concerned, on this scale, because I feel like everything else, we've at least seen a group of people, or at least some survivors, I guess, to an extent. Alderaan, rest in peace. But
I was just
uh,
thinking about Alderaan.
um,
I would
yeah,
say
but.
Hosnian Prime, but nobody really
mm,
cares that Hosnian Prime got blown up.
No, that was more like a city, I guess, right? It was
Oh,
the whole
that was an
planet, but it
entire
was
star system.
oh, okay.
They blew up an entire star system.
Well, we have to
There's
rewatch the
multiple
sequels, but I don't
planets that
remember.
get fucking ripped to shreds by Starkiller Bay. You know what? We're just gonna have to talk about those. We're just gonna
Yeah,
have to talk.
at some point
We're
we
just gonna
will.
have to talk about them. I would say Hosnian Prime, but Hosnian Prime just kind of seems like Coruscant Light
Yeah,
because it was supposed to be Coruscant.
yeah.
And so I don't know what's getting wiped out there other than the center of government for the New Republic. No, and I really enjoyed too, like the way that they designed the different settings and locations for this one too,
Hmm.
with regards to how much detail. Like if you're watching on the video version on Patreon, which you've accessed by going to patreon.com/Gold Squadron Gaze and paying $3 a month to access the uncut video versions, where you too can watch me sit there for a solid minute and a half reading the Wikipedia article to try to figure out who did the colonialism, then you will see that Bradley has artwork based on the. I don't think it's a screenshot from the short, but it's
No,
artwork
this is
based
concept
on
art.
it,
Yeah.
concept art for it.
Hmm.
But the short itself, there's a lot of like really good like set dressing and visual design and how everything feels distinct. And you can kind of tell what this world was supposed to look like before it got blighted to hell by the colonialism.
Right. And they kind of give us a hint of that at the end where you see like the mushrooms growing back and there's a little bit of foliage and things happening when the light or the pollution is gone from the sky. So
Yeah,
it's
because
yeah,
they blew up the factory and or they
right.
they sunk the water thing. They kind of unblew up the factory. They anti-blew it up. They washed it away with the water,
Right. The planet
which
took back, its power.
yes, which I did like that that was the ending too, is that it was the water. The water itself, the planet itself did most of the damage, that the girls just kicked it off,
Right.
which I really, really liked.
Yeah, and again, that goes back into the themes of that, these people are more connected to nature. They're more in tune with the planet and they're more combined with the ecosystem. So it makes sense that it's all kind of using the force and it flows through us and binds us to the
Yeah, it kind
galaxy.
of reminds me, kind of reminds me of how the Force is used in The Village Bride.
Yes, how nature is really big in that one.
How nature's really big and like the connection of nature and
Hmm.
like the relationship between the people and the land upon which they live being such an important integral part of that short and also in this one,
Right.
that they don't really bother to explain much in this one, which they shouldn't. It's 14 minutes long. They don't
Yeah.
have the time for that. You can kind of tell that the force in this one is connected to these people who are living in tune with or trying to live in tune with not only nature but with their community. And
Right.
with what's interesting about it is a community that has passed on, that a community that they still feel like they have a relationship with and who feels like has a relationship with them
Right.
but is no longer physically present. So there's an interesting angle with like grief and mourning, but not in the like we need to let go sense, in the we need to hold on sense. We need to remember the people that have passed on. They are still with us. Those stories are still with us. They are looking down on us, which the ending got me. I cried a little bit. I couldn't cry a
Yeah.
lot because I had to go back to work, but I cried a little bit when I rewatched it.
Yeah, it's that the rock drawings or whatever that they have in on their little campsite or whatever, where they have the like they said it was the starlight is what makes the paint glow or the makeshift paint that she makes or whatever it is with the spores from the mushrooms or whatever.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
I
just like yeah,
fucking love that bit at the beginning where she's like, there's the debate over the water. Like, what do you use the water for?
right. She's like, don't waste the water to do some what like in her eyes, like, oh, that's just a silly religious thing, or practice that we've always done, but we don't need to do that anymore because we need to survive. So clean water is more important to survive than to keep on these beliefs and practices. And then the dog or the younger sister is like, no, like have to keep believing or we have to keep, we have to keep this alive, otherwise it's gonna die with us.
Yeah, and it's a question of preservation of culture versus, the survival of the individual,
Right.
which is a really interesting point of tension, that it's not just that the younger sister is like really brash and headstrong and wants to go fight the empire. there's something deeper going on with this conflict between these two sisters, which is this interplay between pragmatic survivalism and cultural restoration, or like a holding on to the culture and the history and the practices, even though you are one of only two people left. So it's a difference in values between which thing these two girls value the most. And it's emblematic in what they use the water for when they have it. And I think it's also notable that when the younger girl uses all of her water up, creating this art on the rock, even though it is temporary, when she runs out, the older sister tries to offer her some of her water, even though she was just chiding the younger girl for being like, why were you doing this? This was a waste of water. She's not going to punish her for it.
Right.
So even in that pragmatic survivalism, she's still saying, like, no, I'm going to make sure that my younger sister's taken care of before myself, even though it would make more sense for the older girl to be stronger and healthier and able to go in and get more water. This was a good episode.
This is a good one. It's
They were
yeah.
all
No, I
pretty
think
good
this is
this
definitely one of the
season.
better ones. I would say.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think the ordering of this season, you and I had some very major critiques about the ordering of season one.
Yes,
That we thought that they put the episodes in a bad order.
I agree. Yeah.
And this season, I think they did a really good job because by necessity, anything that followed Screecher's Reach was going to have a hard fucking time.
Yeah.
And
It's
this
yeah.
one, I think they picked a really good one because it's remixing the same thing, the same base theme, and doing something totally different with it, both in the animation, but also in the message of the story and the way that it intersects with those themes. It was such a good choice to follow it. It was such a good choice to go Screecher's Reach and then In the Stars.
Yeah, because I think we went from I think Sith is just it's kind of more neutral. I think it's a hopeful story, but it's still like a pretty dark in the beginning, but then gets hopeful at the end kind of thing. Screecher's Reach is kind of like, ooh, it's kind of stays dark, kind of the whole time. And then
Screecher's Reach is a bleak fucking story, which is why it's
right.
good that we followed it up with this one,
That's
which is
right.
still a bleak fucking story, but has a much happier ending.
Right. And I think it naturally flows because if you look at the rest of the season, I think it does a very similar thing where it goes like kind of like, okay, next week is like a little bit happier and then it goes a little darker and then it's like a little more lighter animation and then maybe it's slightly more serious one and then it's like then it ends on a positive note. They do a nice little roller coaster of, I think like you're right. It's a good mix of what's considered quote unquote dark and then what's more lighthearted animation. So I liked it. I think this week was made me feel good afterward. I like that feeling after I watched these.
I like to feel good. I watch the Star Wars Visions and I feel good, and then I turn on the cable news and I don't feel good.
Yeah, I try to avoid doing that. I think I like to just live in my Star Wars fantasy for like 20 minutes out of my day, and then I'm like, okay, back to reality.
Well, that's all I had about this
Yeah,
short.
I mean, there's not much more to say other than it was good. I mean, I guess this could be a good spot to put in our how would you like to see the story continue, or would you like to see it continue?
No, I think it's good.
You think it's good as is?
I think it's good. I think it's got a solid beginning, middle, and end. I think it's got a strong moral lesson. I think it plays with its theme excellently. I think it's good. I think it's good.
Yeah,
I don't think I need to see the story continue. I would love
I
to get
don't
some more
think
context behind these
right.
people that are wiped out, but I also think we got enough to like really understand it. Like we didn't necessarily I don't need everything to have a giant encyclopedia entry that explains everything in minute. I think this is fine the way it is.
I agree. I think it's good the way it is. However, because I like the characters so much, I think the relationship between the sisters is such a interesting dynamic that like, I don't think we've seen that much of in Star Wars. So I would like to see a longer form content of this. I think I still like the idea of doing a stop motion animation movie. I wouldn't be opposed to 90 minutes of this. Like, I think that'd be really cool to have them go on the hero's journey together. Some kind of like some kind of thing where they have to go somewhere and do something together and whatever that may be and then their abilities in the force grow along the way and a compelling villain thrown in there. As much as I love this imperial officer lady, she's great, she's just very imperial officer lady. That's it. That's all she is. There's nothing else to her. So I would love to have more of just the Empire is bad. Like I would love a more complicated villain, like kind of like Thrawn or like, something like that who works for the Empire or who is Imperial but has more complexity to them. I would love to see these girls go up against something like that. So I think that would just to give it a little bit more and maybe along the way we get more of that background of the people in some capacity, in some way, maybe some more mythology to the planet or some more creatures, or we didn't see any animals, we didn't see any, thing other than some glowing mushrooms at one point. So there's something like there's stuff there. Like there, I feel like there's content there they could expand upon. So I'd like to see it. I think I would like to see it just a little bit more. But and now that we know we're doing these future things with some of these vision content as little short form movies or TV shows or whatever they are, we still don't know the whole explanation behind all these like things that they're going to do these continuations for. But I would like to see some of this is one of those ones where I could see them doing something with this because I don't think all of the Visions shorts will get more long form content in later on like some of the other ones have, but this is one of the ones where I feel like it could if they really developed it and they wanted to.
All righty. Well, do you have any additional final thoughts on this? Because I'm out of final thoughts on this.
No, I liked it. Our trip to Chile was great. I'm excited to see where we go next.
Where are we going next, Bradley? This is going to be a short episode this week, and thank God for that because I have shit to do.
Next week, we are going to the UK, and we are
Boo!
I know,
Boo!
not
I
as
just
interesting.
spent an entire episode bagging on the English.
You know what? I think, and that's the retribution we're going. They're like, you know what? We
Fuck you. We're
gotta,
gonna
yeah,
make one of the best shorts in this.
yeah. So
This
next
fucking
week,
short's so great.
we're going to the UK with "I Am Your Mother." So keep a lookout for that.
I love this one so much. This one's adorable. I love this one. Oh, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to talk about the voice cast
Oh, okay.
for
Tease there.
I Am Your
Yeah.
Mother. There's something very interesting happens with the voice cast for this one.
Okay, cool.
All right. Pluggables. Bradley works on a bunch of reality TV, including a new show that we can't talk about yet, but you got some more teases on that if you were in the patron only 15 minutes at the beginning, which you can access for $3 a month on patreon.com/Gold Squadron Gays. But he has also been involved in such shows as Married to Medicine, Temptation Island, The Circle, Queen's Court, King's Court, other stuff. If you like reality TV, please go watch the reality TV that Bradley makes. We can keep him employed so that he can keep making this show. I am on a Star Wars TTRPG podcast for Light and Dice, rolling into its season 2 finale. That's good. You should listen to it. I also write books. I write queer crime thriller mystery books. Those are called Beach House Studios. Those are on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, and you can get them through your library. The 4th book, Confessional, is coming out November 21st, 2025. You can pre-order that on all the sites I just mentioned. It's all up on all of them. That's why I didn't watch any more Young Justice this week. I was fighting with that. So you can now pre-order it wherever you want to get your ebooks. That book is out November the 21st. And we're just going to go straight into it because I've got nothing else to say. Bradley, go ahead and run our socials. Thank you for listening to Gold Squadron Gays. Did Charles fuck something up? Email us at goldsquadrongays@gmail.com and let us know. You can follow us on BlueSky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Gold Squadron Gays. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Gold Squadron Gays, where we post full episodes of this podcast. If you like the podcast, you can also rate us and review us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Please join us next week and every week for another episode of Gold Squadron Gays. I don't know if he has an IMDb page.
I do
I
not
should probably
because I think it
write all
costs
these.
money.
No, you can have an IMDb. I have an IMDb page. You can
I'm not
have an
important enough for
IMDb
that.
page for no money. If you want to like have your resume and stuff up there, you need to pay money for it.
Oh,
I literally have one.
I'll think about it.